African lions have been placed under special federal protection by the Fish and Wildlife Service. This will virtually prohibit hunters from shipping lion parts back home as trophies, whether it's a head or a paw or just a lion skin, a move at least partially inspired by the uproar that followed the killing in Zimbabwe of Cecil the lion a few months back by Walter Palmer, the part-time dentist and full-time asshole, Jose. So for the first time, this new rule is now making lions coming from Central and West Africa, putting them on that endangered list. So now they're being classified as endangered, therefore you cannot bring them home as trophies the way Mr. Palmer did. So ever since Mr. Palmer shot Cecil the lion, you know, there's been a lot of talk about hunting and whether it's right or not, in this day and age at least. And so we've seen France has done this same measure. They've put this same rule out, and now Britain wants to follow us now in our lead. What do you think, Jose?
I think it's a very positive development. Following the path that started the airlines. A lot of airlines decided to take measures where they wouldn't allow these trophies to be transported, and so they put a lot of these hunters in the predicament of finding many different connections that were, you know, allowing this type of atrocities to be transported back into the United States for them to hang them in their walls and feel all macho because they kill a beautiful animal that is in danger of extinction.
So you can't take your like full giraffe carcass on carry-on and like shove it in the
compartment above. Yeah. It's like, let me put my giraffe.
You have to check that in, sir.
Let me chop another foot of the neck. Maybe I can feed it. He's an asshole, and I think that the fact that the government is taking decisive action and preventing, or at least making it more difficult for these guys to have something to look forward to, other than killing these animals, and say, well, I can bring it back, I think it's a great development.
You know, a progressive country like the U.S., you'd think we would have done this a long time ago. You know, it wouldn't have to take one guy doing what, you know, thousands of other people do to make this case, you know, a huge thing that people are talking about. But at the same time, it would have happened a long time before that.
There's a long history of hunting in this country.
True.
You know, there's a lot of people that regard hunting as something as part of the culture that they were brought up to. But one thing is to go hunt quail and foxes. Another thing is go kill lions that are in danger of
or that they're ones that are protected inside of a park and you lure it out and shoot it like he did.
I don't really want to bring every hunter down with this situation, because although I don't partake or support that, well, they're free to do whatever, it's still legal.
Right.
But the fact that the government is taking action to prevent the killing of exotic animals that should be preserved, I think that is something that everybody, even the hunters, should get behind.
Yeah, well, look, it might be legal. I still don't think that it's cool to like go to a national park, even if it's an animal that, or it's a type of rhino or lion that's not endangered. I still don't think it's cool to fly halfway around the world just to sit in a like open roofed Jeep and shoot at big animals for fun because you get a kick out of it. I don't think that's a good thing. And I think the fact that this whole uproar after Cecil the lion died, after his demise, I think that just shows a direction that we're moving in, you know, in society. Correct. So I have hope for the future, and I think like, this kind of stuff's going to become less and less cool.
I agree.
At least I hope so.
I agree. I agree. But, you know, now thinking about it, the only instance where I think that hunting will be okay if it's in order to prevent the incredible damage that the beef industry, the meat industry creates in this country. If everyone that wanted to eat meat actually had to go and hunt with it with a knife, then I will support that. That will be cool. I don't think that many will go to the extent of it, but that then will be at least fair, that you kill an animal and you eat it, and that's the way you procure your food. Otherwise than creating this business that is destroying the planet.
Right, and torturing animals. You're right, I think we'd see a lot more vegetarians on the streets if that was indeed the case. But you know, some people who clearly are not going to be happy about this are governments, like Zimbabwe, for example, where they have millions of dollars in revenue every year from tourists who go to hunt. You know, these hunting expeditions are so profitable for these countries that, you know, they're not so keen on shutting them down, right? And they do take protective measures to save certain animals, but they don't want to see the whole industry go to shit, because then their economy will too. So this was, I think, a really big step that we just took here in the U.S., and we might see other countries following the U.S.'s suit, banning trophies coming back from these hunting expeditions.